Hello, my name is Brian. I'm going to make one interview. Teacher Fanner, thanks for accepting this. It's about 9 questions about this step, uh, teacher strategies. Let's begin with teacher journal. First question. Do you consider it important to have a teaching journal? Why?
Well, yes, of course, Ryan. Well, first of all, thanks for the invitation. I consider it's really important because that way you can write down everything of what you need in the class, and I think that it could be even in both sides. For example, not only for teachers but for students too, because they could help you to have the line or the guideline you need to continue teaching during the rest of the process. Um,
Yeah.
I think that's great. It's a great tool.
Okay, thanks a lot. Question number two about teaching journal. Will you able to share your journal with your peers? Why?
Yeah, I think so, and I think the question is a little bit funny because I think that I master or that we master our knowledge with another people because that's the way that we build knowledge. You know, sometimes we just keep our knowledge for ourselves, and that is not good because otherwise, how are you going to grow as a professional or as a human being? Everything what you learn in your day-to-day life must be shared with the rest of the people, with the students. So I think there is no problem to do that.
Okay, I agree. If you had a journal, what would you write down on it? And what would be the purpose of your entries?
Well, something that I realized, Teacher Brian, is that during the years of experience I gained, I've seen that, for example, most of the students come because of different objectives to learn English. But something I found really deep is that as human beings, they have some failings, you know. For example, some of them come with problems with their family.
Yeah.
Some of them come because they don't have enough money to continue studying English. Some of them are bored. Some of them are depressed. So, although I would write about English learning processes, I will learn that thing, you know, English language processes, but more as a human being. What is the process of the human being to learn English by knowing that before to be a student you are a human being?
Yeah,
So I
that's
think
correct.
everything related with the human part would be my interest.
Okay, it's amazing. Now, let's start with teacher portfolio. Do you think it's fundamental to have a teacher portfolio in order to improve your teaching skill? Why?
Yeah, man. And I think that's really necessary because when I was teaching to some students in business, I did that in the same way I told you at the beginning, in both sides. As teacher, I started to write down everything of what I wanted to do, of what I did, or what I was going to do, and that's a really good help, a really good tool to have an order, you know. So I think if you don't write anything of what you're going to do, it's a little bit impossible to do or to have a good lesson, and your students are going to notice about it.
Yeah, of course.
So when you don't do that, you sweat oil. So I would say that of course.
Okay. Now, what would you like to include in your portfolio if you decided to send it one?
Well, first of all, the topic I told you about the human being. Second, as for me, I would like to blend together all the strategies to teach in the different skills. For example, not only to think of a skill like writing with exercise and listening with listenings of a data, but trying to look for more strategies like songs, like for example, if you're going to write something to be a real thing, like a letter to a pen friend you have in another country, or how can I tell you, something that is really important to you Not because a book is asking you to write a paragraph, but okay, what about is that paragraph? So try to think of your family, think of your dreams. I think everything about personal stuff. I would like with that idea.
Okay, fantastic. How would you characterize your philosophy of teaching?
Um, I think that I'll keep going the same thing I've been doing during these years, and is to make my class very funny. Try to I don't abide by the rules always like strictly that you have to, and if you're going to speak Spanish in the class, you have to do it all the time. Because sometimes you need to shift into your mother language to give some concepts in the real sense of what you need. And the way I did the best in my lessons, and that's why I tell you that I'll continue to do it, is smiling a lot, talking about movies, talking about songs, and more than talking about them, to work with them in the class and be a funny person. You know?
Yeah, it's important.
Yeah, as much as I could.
Yeah. Okay, and finally, with peer observation, have you ever had an observer in your class?
Oh, maybe, yeah. I had that observation in my class when I work in with some private lessons. A company from Neva hired me, and I had that experience.
Okay, so what did you learn from the observer about your teaching?
Well, honestly, I don't like a person to sit down in my class and check my lessons, you know? For me, it's a little bit disgusting.
Yeah.
But independently of that, that experience was great, and I'm gonna tell you why. I was given a lesson, and I was teaching present simple,
Yeah.
present simple tense
Yeah.
to those students. And in spite of they were learning about it and that they understood the lesson, some of them had some doubts. And I had a Canadian man sat down in my class watching me, you know, doing this exercise. So he told me, okay, teacher, sit down. I want to do something. And so I was really, you know, a bit upset. Not angry, you know, because I knew that he should do that. But at that time, he just stood up in front of class and started teaching present simple in another way. So although it was a little bit uncomfortable for me, it was really good, Brian, because since that day I teach present simple in the way he did, because it was an easier way. So for me it was great. I was nervous and I don't like that, but I think it was good because I learned. So if I grew, it means it was good. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
That's it.
Good experience.
Yeah.
What are possible problems with having an observer in your class?
Well, could be the one I told you. Perhaps you could be a very good teacher, but if you have a peer observation and you are not ready to receive that person in your class, yeah, you could get nervous, upset. Perhaps you can forget what you are teaching.
Yeah.
Perhaps you start speaking Spanish without expecting that.
Yeah.
But I think the most relevant is something that we have to keep in mind, and we must no, I mean, we should never forget that every one of us has the same abilities. So you're not more than me, I'm not more than you. So the peer that is going to observe my class is another person.
Yeah.
If he knows or if she knows more than me, because she has experience of studying more. And if I know less than him and less than her, I have an opportunity to grow. And perhaps in some years I'm going to know more. But regardless of that, it doesn't mean I'm more than another person. I must be more than myself.
Yeah.
So I think is that what I can tell.
Okay. And last question: how do you think peer observers can be helpful To beginning, teachers, experienced teachers.
Well, I think that well, something important I think that we must point out is that if you are noticed, you're going to receive a person.
Yeah.
Perhaps you get ready with all the toys,
Yeah.
and you won't have any kind of problem. In the case of experienced teachers, I think they are not going to have some problems to receive a peer observation. Perhaps the only thing is going to injure them is in their ego, because sometimes we think that we know a lot,
Yeah.
but that's not right. Every day we are learning new things. I see that it could be the only problem for an experienced teacher. And I think that for beginning teacher is a great experience. Because since the beginning they are going to get used to receive peer observation, and that is going to make them, make them grow and have another point of view of a different kind of techniques and strategies to teach. And this way they are going to have a low ego, and they're going to grow, I think, better even than the experienced teacher that nowadays
Yeah.
we have.
Okay, teacher panel. So we have finished. Thank you very much for your time, for your answers. I really appreciate this, and see you another time.
No, I appreciate you have invited me, and I wish you the best in your career, and the students or teachers that are watching this. Thank you very much. We don't know everything, but we are trying to improve and ourselves every day.
Thanks a lot.
Okay?
Okay.
Thanks a lot.
You're welcome.